So, guys, we have a phenomenal guest speaker from the Jordan Agency. So, JJ Jordan is one of my really, really good friends. He's another agency owner out of Louisiana. And I asked JJ 2 days ago who is the biggest rock star in his group that should be our guest speaker, and he said, Penny Miller, 100%. So, Penny's a stud here. She's been here for over 5 years. She also lives in the great state of Louisiana, where the LSU Tigers
Amen.
are. Oh yeah, beautiful. It's an hour earlier, so it's 7 a.m. where she is right now. Penny's been here for 5 years. She worked for an attorney's office before this for 16 years. She's got a big family. Her husband is a retired Baptist preacher of 40 years. That is awesome. And she lives with her daughter as well, and her grandbaby also lives with her. So she is awesome. And yeah, she's going to talk to us about a lot of different stuff today, guys. So just make sure you've got a pen and paper. You got something to take notes on, because she's going to cover a lot of stuff. She's one of the top agents in the company, year in, year out, since she's been here. So Penny, I'll just go ahead and just shift it over to you.
Okay. Good morning, Kyle. And thank you for the opportunity to come and share. Kyle, like you said, I am a retired preacher's wife, if you can call it that. And I have been with JJ over 5 years now. And I love what I do, but I want to make a couple points this morning that I guess it just didn't sink into me till further in the career. One thing I learned, I was a territory, I guess you could say, jumper. When you're new at this, you're going, well, these people are making so much money and covering so many families, protecting so many families in this territory. This must be the special place. Let me hop over here and let me hop over here. Well, I've learned there's no special place. The system works everywhere. So I have been grounded in a town called Jonesboro, Louisiana. Small town, great people out there. And so I have been staying there and protecting people and protecting people. And somebody asked me just last week, they said, Penny, when are you going to be finished with Jonesboro? When are you going to run out of people? I said, I'm not. And they said they didn't understand. And this was one of my clients. I said, you don't run out of people. I said, I'm finding there's little roads, little back roads, little dirt roads. There's that have a soul behind each door. And I always believe go hit every house, every business, because there's a soul behind every door that needs a smile, Jesus, and insurance. And some people need all three. And I've gotten in doors before because I'm smiling. That's how powerful somebody's day you can make by just introducing yourself and smiling. But I've learned to marry my territory. And it helps you in several ways. One is the other day I went to a house and I knocked on the door. And they said, well, come on in. Didn't ask who I was, nothing. Just come on in. So I did, and I got to know this person anyway, and he bought $210 worth, and we just had a good time. And yeah, one thing JJ's always taught me, there is people in them woods that will spend $200. Go find them, And so anyway, I got referrals. And so I went to one of the referrals, which was his daughter-in-law. And so I knocked on the door, and she kind of looked at me. I said, are you Tessa? She said, yeah. I said, well, good. I'm Penny. I'm with Globe Life Family Heritage. I said, you know old Teddy down the road? Yeah, it's my father-in-law. I said, well, he sent me. Well, come on in. I know that's not your standard approach, but my point is names and claims. And JJ has taught me that so many times, saying names and claims. And it's been nice because I married a territory. I go there every morning. Every morning. That's where I know I'm going to be, is Jonesboro. No. But claims. I sat there and I was just spitting out names, spitting out names, spitting out names, not even really having to show the names list. I said, do you know this business owner? Do you know this one? Do you know this resident? Do you know this one? And they just kind of looked at me. They said, well, it looks like you got everybody in town. I said, no, not exactly. But that shows your credibility, to that person. That builds that trust with that person, So that's real important, is to know your territory, learn your names, power names, or just any of the names, because you never know who somebody else knows, Kyle mentioned the other day referrals, getting referrals. And I used to be really nervous about that. I used to sell and hightail it out of the house because I was scared that they were going to drop it, And I was new. I was always scared. Okay, well, if I sit long enough, they might change their mind. No, you're robbing yourself and them of a blessing for you to go and see that person that they referred you to. You're not giving somebody else an opportunity to hear about this. So I have learned, because some people will tell you, I don't know anybody, or even if you say something about the neighbors, doing some pre-approach. Nah, I really don't know my neighbors. Who are the last 5 people in your phone that you've spoken to? Oh, who do you go to church with? When you worship? Where do you worship? Where do you go? Who did you got a sibling, a sister, brother, anything like that? Anyway, you kind of make them think, oh, well, I go to church with so and so, or let me look at my phone. I don't leave a house really without at least minimum 3 and referrals. And I don't sit on the referrals. I go. If they're in the same town, same town as Jonesboro, I go and see if they're home. Some people sit on their referrals till they collect a lot or whatever. I don't. I go and see who I can protect. Because part of this job, Kyle, we need to have a sense of urgency. We never know who is going to get cancer, who's going to have a heart attack, who's going to have a major accident. And we didn't go see them. We just put them off till we collected a lot. Well, there's no sense in that. My thing is, if you're in the town and you referred to me, I'm going to be there. Either that afternoon or that evening, I'm going to go see. Because you just never know. You just never know. And so one major thing that I have learned is stay put. There's no special area. Just because somebody is eagling over here 50 times doesn't mean you can't do it in my little small town. I've done a lot of eagles in the little town of Jonesboro. And so marry your territory. Get to know people there. And, I went to a house just, I think it was last week, and it had a little sign in the yard, and it said, Nani Sweet. And I thought, well, who the heck is Nani? Found out her husband's running for sheriff. And I just walked up to the house and I knocked on the door, and this lady opened the door. I said, hey, you Nani? She said, well, yeah. I said, well, great. I'm Penny with Globe Life. I said, look, girl, it's hot out here. Can I just step in? And I stepped in, and we just talked. And, that was almost $200 right there. And I was given all these names. And when it got time for me to get referrals, she said, well, Crud, I think you know everybody. I said, no, I don't. I said, I've been working your little street. I said, who is this neighbor? Who is this neighbor? Who is this? And so don't be scared to get the referrals. Don't be scared to marry your territory, because you get to know people. It comes more of a big or small town part of your family. And now they know that's the little penny car, or that's because I pick it on. I said, yeah, I'm that crazy insurance lady. And don't be scared to be real with people and listen to them. As newbies, we feel like we got to talk. When I'm building my rapport, I'm listening to them, because they don't really realize what they're doing, but they're saying, I got a sister here, or mom that had cancer, or this one had this. So at the end of the at the end of the demo, I'm wanting referrals. Well, man, you said you got a sister that lives here, and that jogs their memory, So don't forget to listen to your potential client. That's real important, because that's my favorite part of the demo, really, is building the rapport, because we'll just sit there and I'll just talk to them, and I'll ask them, who's the closest person to you that's ever had a heart attack or stroke or cancer or some kind of major accident. And so at that time of building that rapport, you're talking to them. You're trying to build some trust there. And you're also kind of taking mental notes. So it's really important to listen. Is there any other thing that you want to hear about, Kyle?
That is awesome stuff. That is so powerful. Getting referrals, working your territory tight. Hey, can you talk about your schedule? So now you've earned your way, working here super hard, being a top producer for 5 years. You've got a little more freedom and flexibility that you've 100% earned. But can you talk a little bit about your schedule, like when you first started this business, what it looked like, and then maybe possibly what it looks like more now?
Yeah. When I first begun, any job, but it's especially this one, what you put into it is what you're going to get out. I believe in dressing for success. I believe that you need to look appropriate. I have a little saying, when my girls were growing up, if you ain't for sale, don't advertise. So keep everybody covered, and you dress appropriately. And I don't mean heels and stilettos. It can be jeans and tennis shoes and a nice, shirt. But my thing is, if you go, have Budweiser t-shirts on and Hoochie Mama clothes, they're not going to let you in. And you're not representing yourself or the company well. So I'm real stickler kind of on that. Dress for success. No, guys, you don't have to wear suits in the fields and things like that. Now, if you go to a business and you have a presentation, you might want to dress a little bit even better. But day to day, just dress for success. Ladies, put your makeup on, put some earrings on. I mean, Kyle, I got up at 6 a.m. to do this. But anyway, when I first begun, I was putting tons and tons of hours into this. And you need to learn the system, to learn your approaches, to learn your demos, and to learn your area. Okay. But I stress to people that I train, you earn that flexibility. I give you an example. I had been working, I had the determination when I first begun, and I still do, but it's just kind of changed, that I wasn't going home unless I boomed. That's what I call it. When I protect a family, I just send my husband and JJ a text, boom. Or if it's a really awesome boom, boom, baby. That's what I send them, okay? But when I first started, I would go to hotels at night, because guess what? They change shifts, and the people up front are bored at 10, 11 o'clock. So I would go to hotels. I would go to all, from gas stations to Waffle Houses to anything at night that, all these businesses were closed and it was too late to go into residential and I needed to protect some people. Those are places that I would go to. So I was determined. I had that determination. So when I worked all those hours, I would work 50 hours or so a week. And then when I got, I guess you could say, the hang of everything, then what I do now is I get up, get dressed for success, and I'm in my field most mornings no later than 9:30, maybe 10, but usually around 9:30. And I start and I know who I'm going to go see and what I'm going to do. I have a plan. Now, earning that flexibility, as Kyle mentioned, our granddaughter and one of our daughters lives with us, okay? And she's 5. And it takes a village to raise one. So this week is the week before school starts. And we've had this appointment, this appointment, this appointment. Well, guess what? Mimi, that's me, couldn't get out in the field as much because I had to take care of Carly Rose, okay, while her mama worked and Pops worked. So I earned that flexibility. I would work some, come home. Well, when I couldn't get out in the field, why not reservice your client? You call them. And I was able to change my schedule to help my family out, but still work. So that's what I mean. I earned that flexibility because I put in so many hours and hours. I built my clientele. So now I get on the phone and I can reservice them. And I'm like $70 away from my green out, and I'll get that today. But my goal every week is usually a $7,500 week. That's what I try for. But anyway, but my point is I get up, I know I'm going to be in my territory every day. Treat it like you have to clock in. Because if you don't, you're going to get lazy. You're going to get lazy because you think, well, I can just go on my territory. I'll be there at noon, and I'll work till 6, and you'll start digressing. So have you a plan every day. I get up, get dressed, and I go to the field, and I'm there by 9:30. And as Jay has taught me, do those gravy hours. And if you can't, like you said, I'm married to a pastor, and when I started this, I had church on Wednesday night, so I couldn't stay out late on Wednesday night. Johnny and I have been married 38 years, and we still date. So once a week, I knew it was Miller time. It was Johnny and I. Okay, so and usually that was on a Friday night because he was a pastor. He didn't want to stay out late on Saturday night. So I knew 2 nights a week I could not work the gravy hours. Okay, so I made a point Monday, Tuesday, Thursday night, and if I needed to work all day Saturday to make my goal, I would do it. And so that's the thing. You have to understand that this job has a sense of urgency. So also I'm a goal setter. So I know $417 worth of premium is my green out. And I put it every Monday morning on a piece of paper, 417. And as I protect the family, I subtract that. Because part of this job is really a mind game, so I just subtract until I get to my least 417. But I have a plan every day. I know I'm going to my territory. I know that I'm going to work Monday and Tuesday and Thursdays and a lot of Saturdays to get my goal, to reach my goal. And so you got to know, you can't say, okay, well, I'm just going to work till 5 o'clock every day. You missing a lot of gravy hours. You're missing a lot of gravy hours. And let your family know. Let your family know on at least Monday, Tuesday, and for me it was Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Look, guys, you'll see me when you see me. You know, I'm gonna be out. You see me when you see me. And then you get to have the opportunity maybe to spend the all day Saturday with them or Sunday with them, you know. And so that's important for you to have you a set schedule. You know, every day you're going to get up and you're going to go to your territory and you're going to work it, and you're going to work it, might be 7, 8 o'clock at night. And that's okay. But you might only have to do that for a couple of nights because you've got your green out, you know, or whatever your goal is. Yeah.
Oh, Penny, this is gold. Straight game changer. I'm going to leave it open to any questions. Just so everybody knows, I forgot to mention this in the intro. Penny does most of her sales residentially. So she does a little bit of B2B, but most of her sales is residential. I actually was a residential agent my first year and a half, where I went 100% door to door, then transferred over to B2B. But so she works a little bit later. That's called gravy hours. It's time after 5. So just kind of clarify that for some other people. But that is awesome. Any questions or comments for Miss Penny before we wrap up?
Penny, I've never heard you talk. I mean, obviously in Texas, I remember you getting your little granddaughter the horsies, but I am just, that was very inspirational, because everyone does need what we have and everyone does need Jesus. And so that was just a very inspirational call, and I really appreciate it this morning.
Thank you, Brandy. Good to see you, baby.
Anybody else? Any questions or comments?
Just that was awesome. I really enjoyed this call.
Thank you, babe. You know, guys, just don't lose the urgency. Don't lose the urgency. It's so important for people to hear. And I always say the 3 things: smile, Jesus, and insurance. You know, everybody needs it. So don't be scared of what's behind the door, because you don't know. You know, I've knocked on mansions. I've knocked on, you know, places I'm thinking, oh my Lord, you live here. And there's just a soul behind every door. And we just have to have an urgency of, let's go see who we can see that not only needs Jesus, insurance, or smile, but you just don't know what their tomorrow holds. If they're going to be diagnosed with cancer or heart. So we need to make sure we have a sense of urgency and the love for your community to go out every day.
Wow, that is awesome. Penny, this is great stuff. I'm going to kind of close out with a couple of my personal takeaways and just some of the notes I took. So one thing that when you first started talking, it was just smiling will get you inside doors. Smiling will get you to sit down with people. That is contagious. Also, marrying your territory and just using the names builds credibility. Knowing your area, not skipping any homes, not skipping any businesses. Marrying your territory and using those power names effectively. Getting referrals. Do not rob them the opportunity to get their loved ones protected. Do not be scared to ask for referrals, because you're not going to lose the sale by doing that. And just quick memory joggers. Who is the last 5 people in your phone that you just spoke to? Like, that's a great one-liner to get more referrals. Who do you go to church with? Who do your sons play sports with? Do you have a brother or sister in the area? Where do they work at? And just have a sense of urgency to go get those referrals and go see them, and do not put them off. And also, when you work your territory tightly, your community becomes your family, and you really get to know people, and it becomes fun. There's eagles in every territory. That was great. There's eagles in every single area. Dressing for success, dressing, business clothes, because you're representing a Fortune 600 company and you're representing yourself. So make sure you dress professional, and people will treat you like a professional. That was huge. And also when you first started, you average about 50 hours a week. It sounds like. Obviously now you got a lot more freedom and flexibility, been here for 5 years, but you know, you're running this business, started early, you know, in residential, you know, they work later than 5, you know, you know, they go till 7 or 8. So you were starting at 9:30, working till 7 or 8 o'clock at night. That's about a 10-hour day. In B2B, a lot of us start about 8:30 to 9, but that means you would need to work to about 5:30, minimum 6 in the B2B market. But you can work later because there's businesses that are definitely open till 8 o'clock at night. I'm so glad that you said that. Yeah, 50 hours a week when you get in the field, and when you're not able to be in the field, you can still reservice clients and be productive. And you have a goal of hitting bare minimum of a green out each week, but your goal that you really want to hit is a glow week minimum per week, which is it's just good to have goals, you know, and you kind of break it down into $417 a month and subtract that. I've never heard that before. I like that you just subtract it from $417 a month till you hit your goal. And you just know you're going to be in your territory every day. Your family knows your schedule and like, hey, I'll be home whenever I'm home. You have date nights once a week with your husband, even though you've been married for 38 years. I wrote that down. Having a date night once a week is huge. Huge.
It is. It is. I can't stress that any. Yeah, it is. I kind of like him.
That's awesome. And then just understanding this job is a mind game. So making sure you always have goals and it always keeps your purpose high. And just making sure that you're not going to, sometimes you got to go extend yourself further than what you want to do to hit your goals. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And there's some weeks when you hit your goals by super early and, you know, it's simple, but a lot of weeks you got to work more than you want to hit your goals. That's part of success. That's the same thing for professional athletes, same thing in this business. Penny, that was great stuff. Holy smokes. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for inviting me, Kyle.
100%. Let's all give a round of applause for Miss Penny. Woo!
Thank you.
Whoop, whoop. Thank you. Boom, boom, baby.